Welcome to this video. Today we're going to be discussing the new DELF exam language requirements for those hoping to come to France and settle here. We're going to discuss who's affected, are there any exemptions, what is the DELF test and how is it presented as an exam, what areas of your language proficiency will it cover. I'm also going to give you an idea of the standard, so where does it fit in relation to a SATs, a GCSE or an A-level. We're also going to discuss which specific residency cards are affected. So the DELF stands for Diplôme d'études en langue française, and it's a way of testing your French language proficiency. It's been around for a long time. In fact, I sat the exam in 2007 when I was at French school here. It's broken down into 3 different levels: beginner, intermediate and advanced. These levels each have 2 levels within them, sub-levels if you like. A1, very basic French. A2, B1, this is where you would be required to be able to express yourself in a variety of different situations and discuss a variety of topics. B2, we're heading more towards fluency, so much more at ease discussing a wide variety of topics. C1, we're pretty much fluent, and C2 is completely fluent. The new language requirements for residency is now set to the A2, which is still beginner level French, but an advanced beginner. Just to give you an idea of where this sits in relation to British tests of a similar kind, you're looking at a lower pass level French GCSE, so probably not even a C pass. So that just gives you an idea that there is some technical learning to be done with regard to grammar. At an A2 level, you should be able to express yourself in the simple past, present and future tenses, and be able to hold a conversation using small sentence structures about a variety of different topics that you are likely to come across in your daily life. We're still avoiding technical conversations and sort of niche areas of the language, so it's really just a basic understanding of the French language. As it stands at the moment, there is no set rule for visa holders or residency card holders with regard to language tests. Before we moved here, we were told that it really depended on the prefecture and more specifically what sort of visa you were applying for. From January 1st, 2026, this is all going to change, and those that are applying for residency here in France will be affected, but not everybody. Which residency card holders will be affected? Well, let me just say straight from the outset that those who are living here under the Brexit withdrawal agreement are not affected, and this applies even if you're reapplying for your carte de séjour after having lived here for 5 or 10 years. It won't affect you. Over 65s are also exempt even if they're coming here from outside the EU to live in France. The main determining factor as to whether you'll be required to take this exam boils down to if you will be signing a CIR contract. This contract is the Republican Integration Contract, and it's for non-EU citizens who are moving to France and who must sign a contract to uphold the values of the French Republic. These requirements apply to those who have been living here on a vls-ts visa, like Leon and myself, who are then going on to apply for a 1-year carte de séjour and thereafter a 4-year carte de séjour. It applies to those who are holding a carte de séjour salarié, who are employed or self-employed, a carte de résident, and a multi-year carte de séjour vie privée ou familiale. Visitor visas, student visas, seasonal workers and temporary workers are among a long list of visa types, residency cards that will not be affected by this change. The DELF language test contains 4 specific parts: speaking, listening, written and even a mock interview. There are 2 different types of tests. You can take a TCF test, but this expires. I would recommend going straight for the DELF as these do not expire. You will have to pay for the test yourself, and usually these are retailed at around €100, and you can take the test at verified test centres across the country. You can take the test as many times as you'd like. If you fail the test, don't worry, you can sit it again. Obviously, the concern is if you're really limited for time, you need to apply for your next carte de séjour because yours is about to expire. So that would be like Leon and I this summer, we're going to be applying for our first carte de séjour, and we will have to have submitted our application 3 months prior to the expiry of our current visa. If you leave it to the wire and you fail the test, that could be a problem. So just make sure you give yourself plenty of time for resits if necessary. Now here's where there's a bit of a difference. So the A2 test applies for multi-annual residency cards. However, if you wish to apply for a 10-year carte de séjour, this is where you'll be required to sit the B1 DELF test. B1 is still considered to be lower intermediate. However, this is currently the requirement for those applying for French citizenship, but that will soon increase to a B2 level DELF. The B1 is definitely a French GCSE higher level pass grade and may even sit between a French GCSE and an AS level, which is the first year of an A level. If you don't get the test or you fail and you don't include it as part of your application, it could result in your application being denied completely, or you may be bumped down to a temporary visa or carte de résident type. Those that were living here prior to Brexit and not impacted at all. Over 65s are also unaffected. However, there is also an exemption for those that present with health problems of varying natures and degrees. It might be that you are offered an adapted version of the test or that you are completely exempt. It's really on a case-by-case basis and it depends on your specific health problems and requirements. So as I said from the outset, these changes are coming into force in January 2026. It was suggested that they might be rolled out on a trial basis this summer, but we really haven't had much of an update on that. The French government has spoken out this week in response to the suggestion that the tests are too hard, but really it boils down to that the A1 level is really not enough if you plan to integrate fully into the French life and culture, and that really you need to be sitting comfortably at an A2 level to integrate fully. That's all you need to know for now about the DELF language exams. Please don't worry overly much. My suggestion would be if you're planning to move here, then you can still get your vls-ts visa and come here without needing a language test at all. But it will mean that in that first 12 months, you'll really need to try and immerse yourself in the language and learn as much as possible. My advice to you is do Duolingo, do the at-home study, but don't forget to get out there and use your French, practice your French. Leon's been learning French for 5 years. He started during lockdown as a little hobby because we all had lots of time on our hands. And he's learnt more in the last 6 months from being in France and using his French than he did in the 5 years prior. So that just proves to me the wisdom of just getting out there, join clubs, speak to your neighbours, join a community and speak French, practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes is how we learn in languages and in life. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay up to date with our weekly vlogs, as well as vlogs like this one where we try to keep you up to date with visa requirements and residency requirements. Once again, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.